First point, it's now common ground that there is no machinery for the purposes of evaluating, assessing, and determining the grant of citizenship under 6A2. No machinery. Now, notice, the legislature prescribes 4 criteria. Please take up 6A2. Now, please take up the Citizenship Act. Go directly to section 6A. Now, I'll just make my points. I am focusing initially on 6A2. Please take up 6A2.
What would happen then is this, that suppose somebody is detected to be a foreigner.
I'll come to that. Yes,
suppose
yes,
he's detected or she is detected to be a prima facie a case of a foreigner.
Yeah.
Notice is issued to that person.
Yeah.
That person says that, look, I am protected by the deeming conferment of citizenship by 6A2. The onus is on that person then to establish that these 4 conditions were satisfied by them.
No, I am
so they have to then establish that, look, we must also understand that we are dealing with people who came in before 1966. That's why Parliament made this classification.
That's right.
But if notice is given to a person that, look, you are claiming to be under 6A2, but you have never come before 66. You are feigning something which you are not.
Yeah.
That person must show first entry before 66 or entry by an ancestor, parent, grandparent.
Yes.
To entry from Assam, 3 ordinary.
So let me answer that.
You know.
Let me answer that. Now I'm back. I'd moved to 6A3, but now I'm going back to 6A2.
This deeming conferment of citizenship is on those people who genuinely meet that description in 6A2.
True.
It does not confer citizenship on anybody who is just in India before 66.
It prescribes the 4 criteria I indicated. It then provides no machinery for determining any of the 4 criteria, which is the person from Indian origin? Has the person entered Assam before 1166? Has the person entered from Bangladesh? And is he resident, ordinarily resident in Assam? There are 4 specific criteria. But these 4 specific criteria are factual. To qualify under 6A2, you must meet these conditions. You must meet that's what the legislature says. But there's no machinery to determine these conditions. So what is the net effect of that? The net effect of that is, I believe this is a fatal flaw in the scheme. As far as 6A2, I'm only on 6A2 now. By providing, if you had, just take a situation, if you had not provided any criteria, then my supposition would have been, this is completely void because you cannot distribute citizenship without rational, reasonable criteria. That's the foundation as far as the constitutional logic and the constitutional and good governance is concerned. There must be some criteria. To which the answer would be, but we have criteria. We have 4 criteria. But when you prescribe 4 criteria facially and do not couple that with a machinery to evaluate and assess those criteria, you are in short prescribing no criteria at all. And this is now fatal, according to us, as far as 6.2 is concerned. It just can't stand. You can't prescribe criteria, then have no machinery, and therefore just start granting citizenship. So now what's the net effect of this? The net effect of this is that any person, because it's 57 years now, since 1st January 66. So anyone over the age of 57 in Assam can claim citizenship without the requirement of establishing ancestry or provenance. That's the net effect. You are just, your carte blanche, just granting citizenship because you have no machinery. So basically what is happening is, this is the grant of citizenship without scrutiny. It is a criteria-less citizenship. 6.2, I'm only on 6.2. In effect, it is a criteria-less citizenship. And this, I don't believe Parliament can do, even though it has the legislative competence. No action under our constitution can be so completely devoid of any rationality or any basis. You prescribe it. All right, good luck. You prescribe it. But then what's your machinery to determine these 4 points? That the person has entered Assam, come from Bangladesh, is of Indian origin, which is defined, and is ordinarily resident in Assam. Nothing at all for 1st January 66. So I would respectfully therefore submit that insofar as 6(2) is concerned, it ought to go. That's all. I can't say anything further. It ought to go. You can't have a system of criteria-less citizenship. Facially, oh, we've got 4 conditions, but there's no machinery. That's the end of it. So this is now my first set of points. My focus was on 6(2). Now I move to 6(a)(3). It's not just criteria, they're objective criteria.
Right.
Now those objective criteria are on the basis of certain fact situations. Now I'll take a simple one. You have to enter into Assam. That's my other point, but let's keep that aside. Not West Bengal, not enter. It has to be to Assam. That's one point. It has to be prior to 1/1/66. It has to be from Bangladesh. And you have to be thereafter resident. Now, all these elements, I'm just suggesting to the court, because what is deeming? Deeming, according to us, is a basket of rights.
Just there has to be a machinery.
Yeah. No, so I'll come to that. It's a basket of rights. Citizenship is a basket of rights. And that basket of rights includes political rights, it includes civil rights, it may include social rights, it may include economic rights. This is a very important concept because that will also tie into some tentative observations were made of does proportionality have any role in this, and we'll try and suggest some solution.
Mr. Chief is saying is this.
Yeah.
You are right. Now it is ultimately for the individual to have his own view of satisfaction of these four criteria.
Yeah.
Now
there's also the
merely because subsection 2 does not speak about it.
Yeah.
The question is, will that take away the power of the state government,
right,
to go into that issue and satisfy itself whether A or B satisfy this?
So may I answer that?
Yeah.
I'll answer that straight away.
Okay.
My respectful submission is that and there'll be some guidance from some case law, which I'll place presently. But once you specify criteria, you must, in the facts and circumstances of this case and having regard to the nature of this provision, have a machinery to determine those
But
criteria.
see, a deeming fiction is provided by the Constitution itself in Article 7. The Constitution itself provides for a deeming grant of citizenship in Article 6.
Yes.
There is no machinery in Article 6. Of course, you can't challenge an original provision of the Constitution that it is violated of the. See, Article 6 also says,
right.
So, notwithstanding, etc.,
Yeah.
shall be deemed to be a citizen of India at the commencement of the Constitution.
I accept that.
So, even the Constitution.
But that is the starting provision, my lord. Someone had to be a citizen of India. So there was a cut-off date which was prescribed and there were provisions which were made. That's very different according to us.
But if somebody were to claim the benefit of Article 6 citizenship, then the question as to whether he or she satisfies.
Should there be a contest?
Right. That can be gone into.
So may I answer that in this manner? I accept the provision, I accept the position that you may have certain circumstances, such as at the inception of the Constitution or at the starting of the Constitution, when you may not require to have a case-by-case determination insofar as individuals are concerned. However, the nature of 6(a)(2), and I'm not putting it any higher than that, 6(a)(2), by prescribing objective criteria, required, according to us, a machinery to ascertain those objective criteria in individual cases. It can't be just as a defense mechanism when someone wants to take action against you that it happens.
When the law provides for, I may be wrong, I'm just formulating it.
Yeah, but let's see 6(a)(2). Yes.
When the law provides for a deeming consequence.
Yes, correct.
That consequence operates without any adjudication or without application of mind to the facts of a particular case.
Generally. But not here,
that
maybe.
Law, the deeming consequence, what we call a deeming fiction for.
I would accept that.
Right? Now, when the consequence is called into question in an individual case, on the ground that the conditions requisite for attaining that consequence are absent, your 4 conditions. The fact that, those four conditions were not satisfied, or any of them was not satisfied, and therefore the person is not entitled to the benefit of the deeming consequence, is always up for adjudication.
That's
So,
not that's not the
suppose, for
scheme.
instance, somebody, I'll tell you, somebody now, a person prior to 66
Yeah,
applies for an Indian passport.
Yeah.
All right. Or their child, now there'll be those people who will be now, as you
57
said,
plus.
57 years old. Already that person applies for a passport.
I mean at least 50.
The passport officer says that, look, I can't give you a passport. You're not an Indian citizen. Then at that stage, if he says, no, I'm an Indian citizen by virtue of 682, I'm not saying the passport officer will do that adjudication. He has no power to do that adjudication. But certainly, the validity of his status can be then decided. Suppose somebody applies for some other social welfare benefit which is available only for a citizen. Otherwise, we can clarify that actually, that this is not, that anybody who claims that status gets the status.
So let me just answer this. Now, your Lordship has formulated. So I have 2-3 answers to it straight away. So just look at 682, please.
Yes.
Just have a look at 682. I'll just read some parts of it. You see, subject to the provisions of 6 and 7, all persons of Indian origin who came before 1st January 1966 to Assam from the specified territory, including those, etc., who were included in the electoral rolls for 67, and who have been ordinarily resident in Assam since the dates of their entry into Assam, shall be deemed to be citizens of India as and from first day of January 1966. And as your Lordships have seen, this provision comes onto the statute book with effect from 7th of December 1985. So it has, the deeming is not just deeming with regard to who becomes a citizen, but also from when the person becomes a citizen. That's very important. Deemed to be a citizen as from 1st January 66. Now we're not going, there's some rationale provided, etc., because there were elections held, etc. We're not getting into any of that. I am first examining this subsection facially. So assume everything is, what it says, what it means to say. So 4 conditions your Lordships have specified, I don't want to repeat it. Now look at the manner and the mechanics of it. First question, are there criteria? I'm just asking myself.
Criteria there are.
I believe there are criteria. So you cannot assail a provision on the ground that this is just being handed out to anybody and everybody without criteria. And criteria is necessary, I believe, for the grant of citizenship. There must be some rational application of mind, some objective criteria. Now there are objective criteria. That's the other part.